Hi friends, this is your ANR sir, welcoming you to ANR Academy. We have been reading the second lesson for plus 2 children, and the name of the lesson is Lost Spring. The name of the lesson is Lost Spring. For last 2 days we have been reading that lesson. So now let us continue reading the same lesson. So now the narrator went to Mukesh's house. Who was Mukesh? Mukesh was also one of such boys who lost their childhood because of poverty. Because of poverty, many children lose their childhood, and Mukesh is one of such boys. So narrator went to Mukesh's house. There she met Mukesh's sister-in-law, Mukesh's brother's wife. At that time she was cooking. A frail young woman. Frail means what? Very delicate. Frail means what? Very delicate. Not at all strong. Not at all strong. A frail young woman is cooking. The evening meal for the whole family. Through eyes filled with smoke, she smiles. You see, whenever any visitor would come, then we smile and we invite. We smile and invite. So, that lady, having a smile on her face, she invited the narrator to come. Clear? And she had tears in her eyes. It is not because of any sorrow. She is not weeping, because she was cooking and there lot of smoke is there, because that room doesn't have proper ventilation. So she smiled. She smiled through the eyes filled with smoke. She is the wife of Mukesh's elder brother, not much older in years. She has begun to command respect as the Bahu, the daughter-in-law of the house. You see, though she was very young, she commands the respect as the Bahu, daughter-in-law of the house. And already she has become the in charge of 3 men. Who are those 3? Mukesh, Mukesh brother, and Mukesh father. Her husband Mukesh and their father. When the older man enters, she gently withdraws behind the broken wall and brings her veil closer to her face. You see, it is a single roomed house. So when it is a custom that the Bahu should not show her face to father-in-law. So that is the thing, though they were very poor, this girl follows strictly the custom of not showing her face to her father-in-law. So that is the thing. In this case, the elder is an impoverished bangle maker. You see here, the elderly person is not a very rich man. He is very poor What? Bangle maker still as per the custom, this Bahu has to pay respect to him. Clear? In this case, the elder is an impoverished bangle maker. Despite long years of hard labor, first, that means you see, Mukesh's father worked hard. First, he worked as a tailor. When he realized that this tailoring could not fill the stomachs of his family members, then he became a bangle maker as most of the people living around. He has a field managed to do is teach them what he knows. You see, the literate people educate their children. Doctor would want his son to be a doctor. An engineer would want his son to be an engineer. In the same way, he is a poor bangle maker. He cannot afford higher education. So that is the thing. He gave his profession. What is his profession? Making bangles to his children. It is his karam, his destiny, says Mukesh's grandmother. Mukesh has his grandmother. She accepts the karam. Who has watched her husband go blind with the dust from polishing the glass of bangles? Can a God-given lineage ever be broken? So she accepts that everything man would come carrying his own fate. So she says, can anyone wipe the lineage written by the God? She implies. Born in the caste bangle makers, they have seen nothing but bangles in the house, in the yard, in every other house, every other yard, every street in Firozabad. Spirals of bangles, sunny gold, paddy green, royal blue, pink, purple, every color born out of 7 colors of the rainbow. Line mounds in unkempt yards. You see, wherever you see in their locality, you find heaps of bangles. That means they do hard work. Still, they are unable to provide a complete food, stomach full of food to their family members. That is their misfortune. Understood? That is their bad luck. So, and dark hutments next to lines of flames of flickering oil lamp sit boys and girls with their fathers and mothers welding pieces of colored glass into circles of bangle. Wherever you go, there find 24 hours they work. Their eyes are more adjusted to the dark than to the light outside. That is why they often end up losing their eyesight before they become adults. So they work hard. Still, they could not provide enough food to their children. Savita. Another character. A young girl in drab pink dress. That means that dress color gone because she wore a number of years. Color gone. Clear? Drab pink dress sits alongside an elderly woman. soldering pieces of glass. As her hands move mechanically like tongue of a machine. Listen, mechanically, that means they are not doing that work using their brain. Mechanically, like tongues of a machine. I wonder if she knows the sanctity of the bangles she helps make. Whether she knows the importance of the bangles to Hindu ladies. Understood? So, the narrator has a feeling whether this girl knows the importance of those bangles or not. What is the importance of bangles to women? It symbolizes an Indian woman's suhag. Suhag means auspiciousness in marriage. That means those who have their husbands, they wear what? Bangles. Those who do not have their husbands, they do not wear bangles. That is the importance of bangles to Indian women. So the narrator has a doubt whether this girl knew that thing or not. On her suddenly one day, when her head is draped with a red veil, her hands dyed red with henna, and red bangles rolled onto her wrists. She will then become a bride, like the old woman beside her who became one many years ago. She still has bangles on her wrist, but no light in her eyes. एक वक्त शेर भर खाना भी नहीं खाया, she says. That elderly lady complains that throughout her life she didn't have stomach full of food, though she worked more than 18 hours a day. She says in a voice drained of joy. So you cannot find traces of joy in her voice. She has not enjoyed even one full meal in her entire lifetime. That is what she has reaped. You see, after your work, you reap. You get some good thing. So that is the thing she got. What? Even she could not have a stomach full of food throughout her life. Her husband, an old man with a flowing beard, says, I know nothing except bangles. Madam, what shall I do? I too want to keep my family members happy. I too want my children to go to school. But other than this work, I do not know anything. All I have done is make a house for the family to live in. So this is one thing I have. Whereas my friends and relatives do not have. Hearing him, one wonders if he has achieved what many have failed in their lifetime. He has a roof over his head. The cry of not having money to do anything except carry on the business of making bangles, not even enough to eat, drinks in every home. Wherever you go, you find the same complaint. Ma'am, we work more than 18 hours. Still, we are unable to provide proper food to our family. Wherever you go, you find same thing. Little has moved with time. That means very small thing got changed. Little means nothing. You see, little means nothing got changed. So time passed, but there is no improvement in that area, it seems. In Firozabad, years of mind-numbing toil. Mind-numbing means what? सुन हो गया है उनका दिमाग सुन हो गया है, यानी there is no any activity in the mind. Even they cannot dream. Even they cannot dream. They do not have any motivation at all. Simply they sit without using their brain. They weld the what? Bangles. Mind-numbing toil have killed all initiative and the ability to dream. They lost the ability to dream. Why not organize yourselves into a cooperative? I ask a group of young men who have fallen into the vicious circle of middlemen who trapped their fathers and forefathers. You see, from the beginning, this lady has what? Asking some silly questions. If they can organize themselves, can't they? So in order to come out of the trap of the middleman, why can't you organize yourself? Then they replied, even if we got organized, we are the ones who will be hauled up by the police. You see, suppose if we go and if we complain about the bad intention of these middlemen and the shawkars, first we will be arrested, we will be beaten, and we will be taken to jail for doing something illegal. They frame a false case against us. This is what they say. There is no leader among them, no one who could help them see things differently. Their fathers are as tired as they are. They talk endlessly in a spiral that moves from poverty to apathy, to greed and to injustice. Listening to them, you see, they do not have any courage to work against all these things. Understood? On whatever topic they start, it ends to poverty, injustice, everything. So they are completely what? Become helpless. One of the family caught in a web of poverty, burdened by the stigma of caste in which they are born. They blame their caste. Ma'am, what shall we do? Because we born in this caste, we have to do this. The other, a vicious circle of shawkars. So these shawkars, they trapped them. That means whenever they need money, they give. And they add lot of interest and they say, because your father has to pay me money, you have to work according to my wish. Like that, they bound these people. The middlemen, the policemen, the keepers of law, the bureaucrats and the politicians, everybody is making these people to work like that. Together they have imposed the baggage on the child. You see, when a child becomes adult, at the time only whatever the loan his father and his grandfather have taken, that burden would be kept on the shoulders of the children. And the children, they cannot raise their head because of that burden. They say, suppose if you do not pay the loan taken by your parents, then your father's soul cannot rest peacefully there in the heaven. Like that they trap. Before he is aware, he accepts it as naturally as his father. To do anything else would mean to dare. And Daring is not part of his growing up. When I sense a flash of it in Mukesh, I am cheered. So the narrator could see that daring in Mukesh's eyes. So the narrator felt very happy. I want to be a motor mechanic, he repeats. He will go to garage and learn. But the garage is a long way from his house. I will walk, he insists. So when the narrator asked, you see, the garage is far away from your house. Then Mukesh replied, I will walk. That means, you see, though a number of obstacles would come on his way, Mukesh is not going to change his what? Attitude. That is needed. If you want to become successful, you should not change your attitude. Whatever you think, you should do that. Do you have dream of flying a plane? So, the narrator asked whether he had a dream of flying a plane. He is suddenly silent. No, he says, ma'am, I do not have any dream of flying a plane, but I want to become a motor mechanical. This is fixed. So you should have a fixed aim if you want to become successful in your life. In his small murmur, there is an embarrassment. That means he felt unhappy when the narrator asked like this. He felt somewhat bad. That has not yet turned into regret. He is content to his dream. He is happy with his dream. Though it is a smaller one, he is happy to dream of cars that he sees hurtling down the streets of his town. Few aeroplanes fly over Firozabad. That means he knows about the aeroplanes, but he is content with his dream of becoming what? A motor mechanic. So this is your lesson. So I think you understood the lesson. If you happy with my teaching, do not forget to subscribe to my channel General English all for competitive examinations, and thank you for watching. Tomorrow I come up with a new lesson. Till then, have a nice day.